Hello, all heroes, and welcome to my discussion of episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Invincible Season 3, while I try to rush through these Cecil's Nightmares that I kinda sorta forgot about. Whoopsies. Yeah, it's the last lap of Mario Kart, and that music is speeding up, so we're gonna get as far as we can here so I can get the loot so I don't miss out, and while we're at it, we are gonna talk about episodes 4, 5, and 6, because we haven't done that yet. Obviously, if it's not already obvious, spoilers abound. If you haven't seen those episodes yet, first of all, it must be hell to play this game if you haven't seen those episodes yet, but, if you haven't seen those episodes yet, go watch them. They're very good. This is not necessarily, I mean, there will be some review-esque elements, but it's not strictly a review, and I will miss some details. That's just the nature of my memory. But I do want to, at least in broad strokes, talk about them. So, episode 4 was a bit of a half and half. The first half was Invincible's first foray into time travel, which is always an interesting little chestnut to crack open. For better or worse, he kind of went into a dystopian future surrounded by killer enforcer robots and a very senile immortal. The immortal went a little crazy. He went a little bit crazy, and to keep it brief, Invincible had to put him down. This, of course, gives him a moral quandary about killing people once again, as what it tends to happen. I think he's gonna have to get over that one in a hurry because, if we're going by some of the future episodes, he's got bad times a-coming, but we're gonna get there when we get there. He takes out the Immortal, goes back to his date with Eve, like 2 seconds have passed, and yet he is conflicted. Now, I do question the quandary of killing a dude who is literally, as his name suggests, immortal. Also, once again, the Immortal has been killed. It happens a lot. It happens a whole lot with that guy. So yeah, that was the first half. Not a whole lot to talk about, honestly. You could go into the implications of the future where it says, like, Invincible, some kind of emperor or something, but also, by nature of time, they even talk about it, by nature of time travel, because he's seen that future will not happen. So, yeah, it sure was a thing. So, nothing too crazy there. And that's okay, because the back half, oh buddy, the back half of episode 4 was cool. We had the breakout of Omni-Man. We have Alan and Battle Beast lead a fun little breakout. Battle Beast absolutely crushing some fools. And then they have a face-off against 2 Viltrumites. Battle Beast decides he wants to 1v1 one of them, and seems to win. If we're going by the implication, it's kind of implied that Battle Beast did just fine. We technically don't see if he survived, but I mean, I suspect he did. I mean, it's freaking Battle Beast. He survived. I am 100% confident that he won that fight. And then Omni-Man and Alan finished off the second Viltrumite. So that is later revealed to be quite the win, as apparently there's only about 50 Viltrumites left in the universe, which means their power, I mean, you know, they are still destructive forces of nature. I mean, a single Viltrumite can absolutely put a planet down, but still, 50's better than thousands, you know? Like, the good news is there's only 50 Viltrumites. The bad news is you still gotta beat 50 Viltrumites. So, you know, meh. Good news, bad news, that there are 2 sides to that coin. So, yeah, and it seems like Omni-Man is now officially, joining the cause to, beat his fellow Viltrumites. That'll be interesting. Question is, when will Omni-Man return to Earth? You know he's going to eventually, but when and how is that going to go down? That is what I am most looking forward to. Now, the next episode kind of brought things back down to Earth. We kind of revisited the storyline with Titan and this group of criminals called the Order. We also had the return of Machine Head. I'm just gonna say it. I freaking love Machine Head, man. That dude's a hoot. I love Machine Head. He makes me laugh. He makes me laugh very, very much with just about everything he says. And this one, as far as Titan and the criminals go, we really had a big moment of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, where Titan and Machine Head kind of put their differences aside to take down the Order, and the leader of the Order, who is some guy who can turn into a freaking huge dragon. They, as Machine Head eloquently put it, shot him in the effing head. But apparently, Mr. Dragon Man is not dead? Question mark? Not quite sure how it works with dragon spirits, but I don't know. We're not going to worry about it too much. Meanwhile, Invincible and Adam Eve have created their own little superhero business, which is kind of neat. Their relationship seems to be going strong, and they almost got eaten by a dragon. So yeah, magic dragons are hard to kill, apparently. So yeah, that one kind of is another big question of this season has been working with criminals, good or bad? Because of course, Invincible had a major meltdown, halfway justifiably, over the Reanimen and Darkwing 2, and then he refused to work with Titan, only to find out that Titan was not lying about the fact that a giant dragon was trying to eat the prison. We also get a little bit of backstory of Duplicate and Multipole, which is interesting. We see the guy who I'm assuming is their dad just looking just dead to the world. I mean, yeah, that man was a husk. There was nothing left for him. So that was very interesting, and he seems to have broken out without anybody knowing, which is very tricky, and then Machine Head takes over the Order. So, like I said, solid episode. I mean, all these episodes are solid, even if it feels like I'm not giving them a whole lot of attention. They're all very good. 4 and 5, great episodes. Nothing too crazy, but still great episodes. Oh, but then episode 6, the most recent one. Now we're cooking. Now we are cooking because we get introduced to the character of Powerplex. Powerplex was there during the Battle of Chicago, where Omni-Man basically used Invincible's body as a hacky sack. Plowed through a building. Turns out the two people that Invincible tried and failed to save were Powerplex's sister and niece, I believe is the correct one. I think that's right. So they died, and he, pretty justifiably, was upset. Instead of going to grief counseling, him and his wife decided to become a supervillain team. Also, man, his wife was psychotic. Like, this dude was the villain, but his wife was the evil. Like, oh my gosh. Like, literally like, twice in the episode, he's over there like, it's over, I just need to let them take me in. And she's like, no, we can do this. And, skipping ahead a little bit, it eventually leads to the death of his wife and child. That he deep fries them with his electricity powers. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, dang, like I kind of skipped to the end a little bit there, but also, jeez. Starting out, Invincible doesn't face him because, admittedly, Invincible going toe-to-toe with this guy in the beginning would have just been giving him what he wanted, and that wasn't the time nor place. The first time around, Shapesmith gets the crap kicked out of him, but then the second time around, Adam Eve handles him pretty easily. But he does escape, and I can only assume this, once again, he was ready to give. He was gonna give up. He's like, oh, it's over. Yeah, this ain't gonna end well. Then his wife just keeps pushing him, so it doesn't explicitly say, but I can only assume that the hostage situation was her idea. Which is just ridiculous. There's grief, and then there's being a downright psycho, and they were aggressively in psycho territory. Like, this dude was being pushed. This dude was being pushed in a bad direction. I will say, I really thought Invincible was gonna kill him. I thought Invincible was finally gonna be like, okay, this dude is bad news. He's not only a danger to everyone else, but he's a danger to himself, and he needs to go. I think that's what he should have done. Like this dude is gone. There is no coming back for this guy. He probably should have been put out to pasture, but He did not. He is alive and well, albeit in a prison that doesn't let him charge up energy, I'm assuming, kind of keeping him from moving. But with the promise that he will one day break out and come for Invincible. Oh, man. Like, that episode was ridiculous. My wife and I were watching it, and you see the ashes after the massive electricity burst, and I immediately knew. I audibly said, like, oh no. And then it pans over to the charred corpses, and it's like, oh, no way. Like, what the heck? That was one of the rawest images that I think we've seen in this show in a hot minute. Like, holy crap. That was something else. So yeah, and then, as if that wasn't enough, in the last few moments, in the kind of the post-credit scene, post-couple credit scene, we have a tease for what will inevitably be the highlight of the next couple episodes, which is that Angstrom is alive and well, with a impressive glow-up, and that he has a small army of Invincibles who do not look like they have their moral compasses pointing in the right direction. We have a Viltrumite Invincible complete with a mustache and everything, and I think we even had a couple Invincibles in there from Angstrom's previous flashbacks, meaning that he has gone so crazy to kill this one Invincible that he is working with the other Invincibles whomst he hates. This man is gone. Like, there are some psychos gunning for Invincible's head. But, like, all these Invincibles, if they're all, you know, evil, these Invincibles are world killers. Judging by the flashbacks in Season 2 from Angstrom, all of these Invincibles are world killers. If they all go after Invincible, it's gonna be a global catastrophe. I mean, like I said, one Viltrumite is enough. And Invincible is just as strong as a Viltrumite at this point, and you have to imagine that an evil Invincible is not going to be holding back. They're cooked. They are so cooked. I don't know what's going to happen. Bodies are going to hit the floor. My wife and I made some predictions of who's inevitably going to die, because there will be bodies. I think either Rexplode or Ray, probably Ray if I had to pick one of them's going to die. Because they've had a lot of character development. I haven't talked about it a whole lot, but there has been a little bit of a C-plot with the teen team, and specifically Ray and Rex's burgeoning romance, which has been kind of cute, actually, not gonna lie. I haven't hated it. But it's been kind of an extra little thing. One of them's gonna bite it. I am almost certain that one of them is gonna bite it in this upcoming catastrophe. Also, the Immortal's probably gonna lose his head again or something like that. The Immortal always dies. It's a rite of passage. It's like, take a shot every time the Immortal loses a fight. I mean, yeah, he's probably gonna bite it. But this is gonna be an all-hands-on-deck situation. It is going to be brutal. And we've still got 2 whole episodes left, man. I am so excited for episode 7 later this week. I can barely stand it. Like I'm dying over here, man. I want to see it so dang bad. But we'll get there. When we get there, I must find my inner peace and have patience. Something I am not known for, but that's fine. And we will see what the last 2 episodes of this season have to offer. So far, Invincible Season 3 has been very good. Season 1 was just so good that it will probably never be topped. And we're really feeling the lack of a consistent Omni-Man, kind of same in Season 2. Omni-Man is just such a good character that you really do miss him, and it's a crying shame that we've only had him in, like, 2 episodes of the 6, technically. I think that was even the case kind of in, Season 2. Like, we had him in the main fight against the Flaxons. Or no, on the Thraxons in Season 2, where they got beaten up by the Viltrumites. And then the prison bit at the end, so not counting some little teases here and there, we pretty much had Omni-Man in 2 episodes of Season 2, and so far, that seems to be the case in season 3 as well. Really, really missing him as a consistent character. It does hold the show back, albeit not by much. I mean, like I said, season 3's been great. Love it. And it's like, it's kind of like back in the days of Walking Dead, when it was at its peak, where it was like, a bad episode of Walking Dead is better than a good episode of anything else. That's kind of where we're at with Invincible, and that's never been more true. It's like, none of these episodes have been bad. Maybe not quite as mind-blastingly crazy. I mean, yeah, he fought a magic dragon. That's still cool, and there was still some story that happened there, like with Multipole and Invincible, and Eve starting their little business. The thing with that is that there's so many awesome things that we're waiting for that you kind of feel it a little bit when there's a filler episode. It's like, okay, the stuff with Titan is cool, but we really want to see Omni-Man and some Ultramites do some stuff. But we'll get there when we get there. I'm not a story writer, and, you know, these things have to simmer. We do have to fill out the season. And some of this stuff is important to have, especially, like, the Titan stuff, and kind of making Invincible interact with these criminals and be like, hey, maybe sometimes you gotta listen when a criminal says, hey, there's something that needs to be happening, and that's something that needs to be dealt with, or there's a much worse threat. But, like I said, anyways, season 3 has been great, and like I said, with the Angstrom threat, with all the Invincibles, the season finale, the last 2 episodes, have the potential to be the wildest season finale, and that's saying something, because, of course, season 1 was the fight against Omni-Man. Those last 2 episodes were Omni-Man finally pulling that mask away and going crazy. And then the last 2 episodes of season 2 was the wombo combo of Anissa and then Angstrom. This is going to get wild. This is going to get absolutely wild. Bodies are going to hit the floor. It is going to be a mess, and I cannot wait for it. Now, as far as how this is going to relate to the game, because I feel like, you know, I should probably relate this to the game a little bit, they've got a lot to work with. They've just added Powerplex, which is all fine and dandy. As far as other characters, we have, of course, you know, we still have Blue Suit Mark. There's the upgraded Angstrom look, which is awesome. And, of course, all of the other, what I can only assume to be evil Invincibles that are about to be a thing. Dragon Dude, who can turn into a dragon and all that jazz. There's a lot of characters that they could add into the game. It's also the question of whether or not they're going to add in skins or separate characters, where it's like, will they add Blue Suit Mark as a skin or as a separate character? I'm kind of leaning towards that they're going to release it as a separate character. Now, skins are a very easy way for a game to be monetized, but logistically speaking, it's probably going to be another character. But I will say they've got a lot of work to do. Because especially if they're only releasing one character a month, aside from the surprise release of Kid Omni-Man and Multipole, if they're only releasing one elite character a month, they got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of characters that we want to see in the game. Which, speaking of which the game seems to be doing pretty well. I know I've gotten a fair number of new viewers to the channel, which, you know, if you're one of those new viewers watching this video, then welcome. Hi, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Yeah, nice thing is the Invincible, the rising tide raises all ships, and the success of the Invincible season seems to be doing wonders for the game as well. So I am very much looking forward to more support for more characters and hopefully more game modes in the future. They even kind of, when they did their little UI update, they even kind of made it so that there are some slots that very obviously exist for future new game modes, which I am very, very excited for. So, yeah, we're pretty much gonna leave it at that. Why is that Mauler in the sky? That's weird. I think he's on Adam Eve's head or something. What? That Mauler can fly. Interesting. Fascinating. That was odd, but okay. And hey, look at that. With just a few minutes to spare, we actually did get through however far I needed to get in those 2 GDA or Cecil's Nightmares. Not gonna lose out on any rewards this day, which I am a-okay with. Not doing too crazy on the rankings, but I wasn't expecting to regardless. So yeah, that is all we have for today. Let me know down in the comments below what you've thought of Season 3. Keep spoilers out of the comments if at all possible, because somebody might click on this video, but they might not have seen the video yet, or the seasons yet. Of course, you know, I give my spoiler warning at the beginning, but we don't want somebody to get flashbanged with spoilers in the comments. So keep it out of the keep spoilers out of the comments. Just try to keep it to just standard, hey, this season is good. What you think down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.